Hey guys, what is going on? I'm here to talk to you about the 30 for 30 film Youngstown Boys as well as Ohio State recruiting news. Starting off with the film, it was definitely my favorite 30 for 30. Talking about Maurice Clarett. At the time when that was all going down in 2002, when he was just bursting onto the scene, I was in the fifth grade, so I was fairly young, and it was like the first time that I paid attention to Ohio State football, like game by game. So it was pretty eye opening to like watch that whole season. Like, it was an awesome season. The film itself, the first thing that stood out to me was Ohio and its football. How they talked about that and how we're like real crazy about it and how we love Ohio State football and football in general in the state of Ohio. Uh, People don't really understand that, especially down here, being in a military town. People think we're a bunch of nuts and we're really crazy about our football and we overreact and we expect too much and we hate everybody else. It's not Ohio State. So I'm glad they explained our love for the game. The film was very inspirational of how Maurice got his life back on track when he got into trouble, like suspended from Andy Geiger, and going through depression and then coping with depression with drugs and alcohol, and going to the NFL and not succeeding there, and how he got in prison, educating himself, losing the weight. He was 200. He said that he was like 297 pounds when he went to prison and left at 223 or something like that. So this is a pretty drastic difference. He'd get his mind right, especially because he was just falling into a bad place. I really hope that it got people thinking of how to evaluate their lives and how they should conduct themselves and um, how they can affect change. Because Maurice definitely has, and he's doing it right now. Um, he has a website. It's mauriceclarettonline.com, and he posts like videos and stuff. So he always has inspirational stuff. Ohio State recruiting news. Uh, Yesterday, Raekwon McMillan, the number one inside linebacker in the country, the number two prospect from the state of Georgia, committed to Ohio State University. He was torn between Alabama and Clemson and Auburn, who came in late to recruit Raekwon McMillan. He chose Ohio State as to get playing time, and he will be a tremendous talent stepping right on the campus. He will be an early enrollee in January, so he will be able to participate in spring ball along with several other recruits. Urban Meyer had a big hand in recruiting McMillan. They jumped on him first and stayed on him until the end of the recruitment. He is a tremendous talent. He's 6'2", 242 pounds, a tremendous run stopper, a great size. The only knock against him, kind of being nitpicky, is his coverage skills, but that's come to expect from an inside linebacker. He was recruited by Luke Fickell, the hardest, and Urban closed down the deal. He was the last one to have an in-home visit with McMillan on Sunday night. Nick Saban earlier in the day had stopped by in his house and did his pitch, and Urban later that day he put the closing deal on it. Urban Meyer is definitely the closer on this one. Today's news, Johnny Dixon, the wide receiver from Florida, he committed to Ohio State University, the four-star wide receiver. He is 5'10", 187 pounds, has a lot of speed. He's a fast guy and a lot of playmaking ability. So he's kind of maybe like the Dontre Wilson, but he's a wide receiver. So. And he was recruited by Zach Smith, the wide receiver coach from Ohio State. Typically, in most cases, position coaches will do the recruiting. So even though it says like Urban Meyer is like the best recruiter, it's a staff that really does the recruiting, and the head coach in some cases, when it's a close deal, will come in, do his pitch, and like, hey, come to our school. So Urban Meyer did that with McMillan. By the time Raekwon McMillan steps on the campus in January, Solomon Thomas, a defensive end prospect from the state of Texas, he is a top prospect from that state and in the country. He will be visiting Ohio State for his official visit. And so the prospects there could maybe put in their pitch like, hey man, why don't you let's make something happen here at Ohio State. And it'll be tough for Solomon Thomas with a lot of defensive line depth that we have. Um, with Johnny Dixon, he is one of 5 wide receiver recruits that are committed to Ohio State University. Uh, one being Curtis Samuel, Paris Campbell, Noah Brown, and Terry McLaurin. So they are all either 4 or 5 star prospects rather, and a part of the 2014 recruiting class. The recruits that are left on our board for Ohio State, the Marshawn Lattimore. He is a athlete from Cleveland Glenville High School in Cleveland. He is coached by Ted Ginn Sr. That high school is a pipeline for Ohio State University. He's a tremendous talent, and he will be able to make a lot of noise coming on the campus. People didn't really hear about him at first because he did his time. Like he played freshman ball at first as a freshman, played JV ball. So it was only like fairly recent memory as a junior that made his noise on the field. He did his time and he burst onto the scene because at first he was like a 2-star prospect, started playing more, became a 5-star. Tremendous athlete. He will be most likely a defensive back, a cornerback, stepping on the Ohio State campus, but Alabama recruiting him the hardest. Next guy would be like Alex Buxer, offensive lineman. We need the offensive line depth. We are losing 4 starting offensive linemen this year. Jack Muhort being one of them, who was named a 3rd-team All-American this year. So congratulations to him. Carlos Hyde was also a 3rd-team All-American, and Ryan Shazier being the 1st-team All-American this year for his efforts on and off the field. A tremendous talent and a good guy. Recently came out to say that he will be contemplating leaving Ohio State along with Braxton. Braxton Miller has said that he is undecided about going pro. He needs to come back. He's not ready as a quarterback. And this quarterback depth in this draft class will be very deep, so it'd be very possible that he would slip. Terry Bridgewater said that he's unsure, but you'll be the number 1 pick, man. Just leave. Take your money. Don't be like Matt Barkley and sit out a year and win a national championship, whatever. But my thoughts on the NFL so far, I haven't really been too interested, honestly. Nothing really too much happening. I mean, yeah, like a lot of stuff happens, but I just haven't really been that interested. My mind's been on college football. That field goal kick last night with Justin Tucker, 61 yards, that was pretty sweet. But maybe it's just because of the state I'm in North Carolina. I hear nothing of Carolina Panthers. I literally want to tear my hair out with talking about Cam Newton. Sorry. I really can't stand that guy. ESPN loves him because he's gotten mature and he has the charisma. He eerily reminds me of Jameis Winston. I had a similar personality, that's like really outgoing and outspoken. From a personality standpoint, and definitely different players, but whatever. But Jameis Winston didn't win the Heisman. My guy Johnny Manziel didn't. I'm a big Johnny Manziel fan. He's just a outgoing guy and does whatever he wants, and I like you do your thing, Johnny Football. So hope you enjoyed this video. My 2nd installment, hopefully coming out with one next week. So I really hope you enjoyed, and talk to you guys later.